Welcome to Think Money with Benny. Here on the channel, we talk about investing in the stock market and personal finance. If you're new here, creating wealth and building passive income is what I love to do. I recently made a video explaining how I transferred my stock portfolio out of M1 Finance and into Fidelity. After reading the comments, I noticed many of you are interested in doing the same, and with good reason. If you're watching this right now, let me know in the comments what brought you here. Are you new to investing? Are you researching platforms? Or just looking for a better place to invest? In this video, I'm going to compare and give you my thoughts on Robinhood, M1 Finance, and Fidelity. My intention is to help new investors or anyone thinking of switching get an opinion from someone who's used all three platforms. Hopefully I can clear up any doubts you might have about choosing the right one. First, I want to say I have no affiliation with any of these companies, so you will be getting my honest opinion. And I won't be asking you to sign up to get 2 free stocks on a brokerage I think is trash. Rebull. I also want to mention I have 1 year of experience with Robinhood and M1 Finance. I recently switched to Fidelity, which I've been using for the past month. It's important to note that up until 2019, the majority of new investors signed up to platforms like Robinhood and M1 Finance because they were free to use. If you wanted to invest in big brokerages like Fidelity, Vanguard, TD, or Schwab, you had to pay a fee when buying and selling a stock. It made sense for new investors to flock to these free platforms instead. But in October of 2019, the big brokerages switched to zero commissions as well, giving investors access to these companies. Now that we don't have to pay fees, we can explore better options. Before we get into opinions, let's lay out the facts first. Robinhood was launched in 2013. It's estimated that they manage around 20 billion in customer assets. M1 Finance was launched in 2016 and they currently manage about 1 billion in assets. Fidelity was founded in 1946 and they manage not millions, not billions, trillions. Based on these facts, we can conclude a few things. Fidelity has 74 years of experience. Meanwhile, Robinhood and M1 are less than a decade old. It's clear as daylight who I would trust with my money. There's a saying, everyone is a genius in a bull market, and that's been the story for Robinhood. But what happens when there's a crash entering a bear market? What happens when people are panic selling and volume goes through the roof? In Robinhood's case, servers came crashing down and users couldn't use the platform for several days. Imagine not having control of your money during one of the most significant times in stock market history. In the following clip, Kramer asked the co-CEO about this incident. This is what he had to say.
So I need to know, you had outages, there had to be some people who were frustrated. Has it led to a fall off in business or is business strong? And have the customers embraced that there are issues and accepted it and continued to trade? Or have people just said, you know what, I'm going to go elsewhere?
Robinhood has continued to have over 50% of the market share of new brokerage accounts. So what that means is out of all of the brokerage accounts that are being opened industry-wide, Robinhood is getting over half of them, including more than all of the incumbent legacy providers put together.
It seemed like he avoided the question, but let's give credit where credit is due. Robinhood essentially paved the way, allowing us to invest for free. The simple, easy to use interface, both online and app, makes it the perfect setup for beginners. The main issue I have with Robinhood is being able to trust this company when times get rough. I'm just not 100% confident with their platform. I personally wouldn't feel comfortable keeping more than $5,000 in Robinhood. So would I recommend using Robinhood? To any new investor who wants to get started and learn fast, yes. It's how I got started, and I'll always be thankful to Robinhood for the amazing work they did for this industry. They were able to help millions of people get started investing. After learning the basics on Robinhood, I began researching for a platform I could trust more. Mind you, this was still in early 2019, and I wanted a zero commission platform. That's when I came across M1 Finance. At the time, this company met my requirements because it was free, felt safer to invest with, and it offered nice features like being able to purchase fractional shares. M1 also has a visually appealing pie system where you can allocate your investments by percentages. All of these things are nice, but they didn't come without disappointments. The first thing I didn't like is that you're restricted to buying and selling during a 10 a.m. trading window. You can't set limit orders, and you have to pay for a membership fee if you want access to trade later in the afternoon through another trading window. Are you serious, M1? As a new investor, I ignored this inconvenience, but as you become experienced, you'll realize that this is a big deal breaker. Touching back to the pie system, while it was nice to look at, I found it very annoying how you couldn't reconfigure your pie and move stocks around to other slices. M1 should work on fixing their platform to improve overall experience. Let's also point out that the data and number totals always seemed out of whack in the pie system. If I wanted to see accurate gains and losses, I would have to go into the holdings tab and look there. The M1 Finance app was also a letdown. I never figured out how to make a purchase on the app because it wasn't clear. I managed my account on the webpage and only used the app to look at gains and losses, which by the way, are not in real time. It's all delayed by 15 minutes. This brings me to a recent interview on the Joseph Carlson show where the CEO of M1 takes a cheap shot at Fidelity. Let's play the interview.
There will be all the online comments of people saying, this is the end of M1. Now they're offering fractional shares, right? You get that type of talk.
We see them as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware of it.
It's important to realize that M1 has been around for, publicly facing for 3.5 years. Fidelity has been around for 40, right? And Fidelity spends, $1 billion a year on their technology, their interface, and the like. And it's still bad, and in some sense, for me, they're just slow moving. From time equals zero now, who do I think is going to have the better platform in 3 years? I think M1 by leaps and bounds.
Wow. I'm not sure if he's trolling or trying to be funny, but I completely disagree with all of those statements. So would I recommend using M1 Finance? My answer is no. The one thing that was special about M1 was fractional shares, and that is no longer exclusive to M1 as other brokerages are adding this feature. In this environment we're in, there's no reason whatsoever, in my humble opinion, to use M1 Finance. And I know what the M1 fanboys are gonna say, you don't know what you're talking about. M1 Finance is for long-term investors and who aren't trying to time the market. Look, I understand why someone may not want to leave the platform that they're used to. I was in the same boat as well. But with the recent market conditions, it made me realize I needed to move to a big brokerage. I was looking for better security. I wanted to set my prices, being able to buy and sell at any point during the day. I wanted to have fractional shares as an option. I wanted to have amazing customer support where I can pick up the phone if I needed help. I wanted an app that works well and an interface that doesn't feel clunky. Everything I just summarized is Fidelity. As I mentioned before, I've been using the platform for the past month and I have no complaints. Let's jump in and take a look. The first thing that stands out with Fidelity is the amazing customer support system. Look at the difference with their website. Fidelity is basically yelling for you to call them with questions and doubts. They genuinely want to help you. You don't see this on the Robinhood or M1 website. That's because they don't have a real support system. It's a joke. The second thing that catches my attention is the interface and layout of the platform. I like how it's straightforward, giving you everything you need without feeling overwhelmed. Everything runs smooth, is easy to understand and navigate through. Again, if you're confused about anything, you can pick up the phone and call, even during late hours. So these are my stocks, which I'll be making future videos on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those. Here we can set up a beneficiary. Robinhood and M1 didn't even have this on their website. You have to email them, print out a document, fill it out, sign it, and email it back. Here on Fidelity, it's right there to take care of right away. If you miss M1's pies because you like to see your sector allocation, you can just go to this tab here and boom, you have your sector allocation by percentage and dollar amount. Tracking dividends was one of the attractions at M1, and you can do that here as well by going to activity, checking the history of dividends. So far, I've received $12.82 from Realty Income, and yesterday I received $110 from the Geo Group. If there's one thing missing with Fidelity, it's not being able to see the gains and losses for the week, month, and year. They only show gains and losses by day and all time. But that's alright, this is not that big of a concern. Guys, I can keep going with so many more features and things you can do and look at in Fidelity, but I would really be extending this video. In summary, if you're a new investor, check out Robinhood to learn, experiment, gain some experience, and then go to a big brokerage like Fidelity when you're ready to start taking investing seriously. Or not, you can also just jump straight into Fidelity. You can't go wrong either way. If you're watching this video because you want to get out of Robinhood or M1, stop wasting your time. Get started right now. You can check out my video on how I transferred my portfolio. The link will be posted up above. And guys, just a quick thank you here. Thank you for getting me to 1,500 subscribers. I appreciate all of you. That is all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.